Talk about Lord Ram's pastimes, and his whole this So, how many of you are familiar with Ramayana and whole saga? Most of you are. Is anyone not familiar? Not familiar. Not familiar. All right, can you? All right. So yeah, Lord Ram, he's which number incarnations? The incarnations, 10 incarnations. And like Krishna, there's many similarities between, of course, Krishna and Ram. And there's few characteristics that distinguish Krishna from Lord Ram. And Lord Ram, when he appeared, he was Purushottama, the best of the kings. And so his role was to show what the perfect king of Kshatriya would act. So that was the purpose of his incarnation. And like Krishna, the purpose of his incarnation was to punish the miscreants and make sure the Dharma is on the rise and the religion is on the decline. That was his motivation, his purpose in appearing. And so, anyone remember who's Lord Ram's father? Do you know what Dasha means? So Dasha Ratha. Dasha is 10, Ratha is chariots. So the king was so powerful that his chariot could conquer all 10 directions. And so that's why he had the name Dasharatha. And so he was a strong king, and he was the king of Koshala, and the capital was Ayodhya. Still is there. And recently there was a new temple built there, and at Lord Ram's appearance place. And so he was ruling the kingdom, and he had many wives, but he had no heir to the kingdom. And so he was, like any king, he was worried, who's going to take over the family business? And so then he was praying, and he was advised that he should do a particular yagya in this one particular place. And so he went there, and he did the yagya, and then the sage from the yagya gave this fruit, and he told him, your wives eat this fruit. And so he gave the fruits, and he gave one piece to his first chief wife, Kaushalya, and one piece to KK, and then he cut two small pieces, gave it to two other wives. But and then from them, he gave the 2 pieces to one other wife. And so from them, then Kaushalya gave birth to Ram and Lakshman. KK gave birth to Bharat and Shatrugna. yeah, and so four of them, four sons. And so, yeah, they all grew up together, and everybody looked up to Lord Ram. There was many childhood pastimes, and like Krishna, many demigods came, they kind of had to test him. There was this one pastime where Indra came, Indra came with a crow, actually. And so Lord Ram, when he came, Lord Ram actually was called him. And so when Indra went inside, he was able to see the entire universe. And when he came out, he was like, oh my God, that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pastimes. And then of course Lord Ram and Lakshman, they were chachas, so they were quite young when Vishwamitra came. And he came to King Dashrath, and he said to Dashrath that these demons are harassing us in the forest, and they're not letting us do these yajnas that we have to perform, that we should perform. And he said, so I want your young sons, Ram and Lakshman, to come protect us, and I'll train them in the art. And so Dashrath said, oh, they're so young. Insisted, no. So then they left the forest, they trained under King Sage Vishwamitra. The first demon that Lord Ram killed was this demoness. Was it? No. This is way back when he was young. Anyways, there was this fiery demons. He was harassing all the sages, and especially Vishwamitra. And so he went and killed him. And then when they grew up and they all trained, they came back to the kingdom. And then Lord Ram was dear to everybody. He was setting the example of the perfect king. And so Lord Ram was a very powerful young prince. And then he went and he found Sita. There was a ceremony where Sita had her Swayamvara, wherein back in the days the princesses could choose. It was often rigged, actually. They always they knew who they wanted to marry, and the princesses knew who she wanted to marry, or who would be the best prince to marry the princess. And so they would have a task that only that prince could perform. And so in Sita's Swayamvara, there's all these kings came from all these various directions, and there was this bow lift up and string it, and everybody came. Even Ravana came, actually. Ravana came too, and all these kings came, and they all what's so hard about lifting the bow? And so but it was both Parshuram, other incarnation of Krishna. It was Saktosha. He was the one who killed all the Kshatriyas, all generations. So everybody, all the kings came one by one, or the princes came one by one, and they could not. And then even Ravana came, could not. And then finally Lord Ram came. And strung it so hard, cracked, and made a humongous sound, and all the three words, and everyone was astounded. At that time, Parshuram came all angry. Who broke my bow? And then he saw Lord Ram. Lord Ram. He pacified. So then, Lord Ram married Sita, and so this young prince and young princess, and they were happily living. And then soon there was a time of coronation, and that was Dashrath's idea that we'd have these sons and we'd coronate Lord Ram, and that's what the idea gave the kingdom. And so Lord Ram was dear to everybody, all his mother and stepmothers, and especially KK. Actually, was very dear to her. And but a short time before the coronation, KK, she had a maidservant called mantra with hunchback. And not only was she physically deformed, she was spiritually deformed also. So when she came to KK one day to the regular services to dress her up, and she started telling KK, "Oh, haven't you heard the news? Our ground is going to get pollinated." She said, "Yeah." KK was like, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's great, great news." And then Mantra goes, "Oh, you foolish man. As soon as he gets coronated, he's going to kick your son out, and he's going to relegate him to some good place in the kingdom or dispose of him." And she started, KK started, then she started getting worried. And so Mantra had a lot of nonsense, basically. And so one thing that comes out of it is that we have to be always very careful of our association. And we have to pick our association carefully, the people we hang out with and what impact it can have on our consciousness. And have you been in association that? When was the last time you were in association and it was really uplifting? But there are times when there's association that's going to can't wait for this conversation to be over. So yeah, we want to be careful of what kind of association. And sometimes as devotees, especially when we are doing outreach and support, we have to engage with all kinds of people, and some people aren't very uplifting perhaps. But I remember Uncle once told us that when you have to deal with somebody who might not be very uplifting, you don't take their association, try to give your association to them. That's also there. Sometimes if you're stuck with something like that. And then also in the scriptures it talks about if somebody comes and is just criticizing some other devotee left and right, what are some things that you can do? Do you remember some of the recommendations? The first one's pretty intense. Really? Well, you can leave it a little before that. Yeah. Yeah, cut out the tongue. Not recommended. You're offending a Vaishnava. So that was the first one, but often not done. But then, and then the second, you could just get up and leave. And third one, did you have something? Redirect. Yeah, defeat them in that that no, this is what he's great, and so forth, and redirect it. And we talk about the other words, many good qualities. So yeah, association is so important. I remember when I was in Europe, we had our little center, and there was this 4 of us, and we did it. It was really nice. And then when I came back here to Gainesville, and there were so many devotees, and so uplifting. And I thought, well, we didn't want to let people. It's different because there's so many devotees and there's so much enthusiasm. Of course, it wasn't really bad versus good association. It was just nonetheless there. But it was just a matter of the quality and quantity just increased a lot here. So I could feel a tangible growth and enthusiasm. So yeah, association is so important. And so KK, she really, her mind, and that makes me think of Chaitanya Chandra's talk that day about the overthinking, right? Yeah, sometimes we get something in our head and our brain, our mind just like chews on it, spits it out and takes it back again from the street and chews on it. So our mind can do that. Yeah, and then even at that point, it's good to get some good association, talk it out with somebody. So that was KK. She got this bad association of Mantra, and Mantra reminded her, well, remember King Dashrath had said he would give you 2 boons because KK had nursed him back to health and in a battle a long time ago. And KK had actually fought in a battle as well when he got injured. So she nursed him back to health, and then she helped fight, and they actually won that battle. So Dashrath had said, at any point, ask me of 2 boons, and I'll give it to you, anything. She said, okay. So Mantra reminded her of that. So KK went to Dashrath. She said, my dear king, remember a long time ago you said, give me 2 boons? And he said, of course, my dear. And what do you want? So she said, I want 2 things. He said, I want my son Bharat to become king, and Ram to go to exile for 14 years, and Dashrath just collapsed, because Ram's again like this Lord Ram is so dear to everybody, just to ask for something like that for Lord Ram was just devastating. And he was like, I'll give you anything except this, please, I beg you. She wouldn't budge. So she just said, this is what I want. So Dashrath went to his son Ram, and he was just devastated, and he told him, this is what I have to ask you to do. And Lord Ram was like, yes, of course, you gave your word, and my service is to make sure that your word is kept. Just very, I wouldn't say nonchalant, but very just detached in a way. And just, this is the right thing to do. This is the only good thing to do. And he just did it. And
I was just kind of wondering, like, in Krishna book, we see that the yogis like give up all their societal standings to like go be with Krishna. And so I was just wondering what makes this different. Like, why wouldn't the king be like, why wouldn't he just take like a slight on his honor versus like?
Yeah, that's like the key difference in Krishna's pastime and Lord Ram's pastimes. The whole theme of Lord Ram's pastime is establishing how kings should act, and how, especially the perfect king. So it touches on the whole entire pastime, and that's why, of course, it's the Lord Ram's God, like, of course, make him king. but just he wanted to set that example, and he's saying with him, like, father too, I've given my word, this is my duty, you must do it. And so that's the Kshatriya code. You can't just, of course, Brahmins do that too, but you really have to give your word, you have to follow through. And it's like Bhishma Dev, he took a vow of celibacy. That vow basically cost the Mahabharata war, actually, down the road, because of that, there were so many complications and so forth. And so, but he took that vow. That's trauma. Bhishma means terrible vow. Kshatriyas are not supposed to be celibate. So when he took that vow, his name was Devavrata, right? And police Devavrata. And so when he took that vow, I'm going to be celibate all my life. The skies opened up, and the demigods were like, terrible vow, Bhishma. That's how he got the name Bhishma. And going back to the point, so in this pastime, and of course later also see when Lord Ram had to banish Sita, a similar question comes up, like, she's the goddess of fortune, and even before that, when he had her go through the fire, the test of the fire, because she was kidnapped by Ram. Same thing. It's like, what's that phrase? Julius Caesar's wife is above suspicion, something like that, right? So it's like that, the king has to be above suspicion. He has to uphold the highest honorable code, and that was this whole pastime of Ram. So that's why he went away, and Dashrath had given his word, and Lord Ram said, give your word, just follow through, and I'll serve you by which has been asked. And again, of course, there's deeper reasons too. Lord Ram was there to kill his warriors as he went to the forest, and of course Ravana was there. So there was that purpose too, that eventually Lord Ram would kill Ravana. And also then Lord Ram was showing by example that he wasn't attached to that position. He was attached to service and so forth. So that was another key thing for Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are supposed to, anyone really, anyone. So Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, they're supposed to serve, they're supposed to protect. So whatever shape or form it takes, and even as devotees, whatever shape or form it takes, that's the service that matters. So for Lord Ram, that is paramount, especially to serve as perfect example.
I why would Krishna leave the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan to go to Dwarka for so many years, and why would Ram and Sita be apart? It's also because love and separation is even deeper than love and union, which is a very high esoteric thing in our philosophy. That actually, when they're separated, the ecstasy of love increases even deeper. It's not something the material mind can understand, but on a spiritual level, it's actually only increasing the love and increasing the pastimes.
Yeah. Yeah, and even in this realm, this talking from Joseph, there's two kinds of songs. One, you met your beloved, and the one where you lost your beloved. So the blues. So there is that rasa, that taste of separation. Love and separation is, you can even materially, you can feel it to some extent. This love that gone far away, or they left you, sing your songs, keep thinking about it. So yeah, when Lord Ram went, Dashrath just couldn't function. He just kept thinking of Lord Ram, and eventually, not very long after, he left his body. And so Lord Ram hadn't really gone that far. He had only gone to Chitrakoot, which wasn't really that far. And he was there, and he and Lakshman, of course, Sita. Only Ram was banished, but Sita, of course, followed because she's a devout wife. And then Lakshman also came, and so they had this little cottage. And so Bharat, by the time, was back, and KK was like, "Good news, you're the king." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Where's Ram?" And she's like, "Oh, he's exiled for 14 years." And he was just so shocked, and he cursed his mother. "What have you done, you foolish woman?" And he was really upset. Unfortunately, he was mad at Mantra too. And then he went to go find Lord Ram. And so he came. He was coming with the entire army, and not just the army, even the residents of Ayodhya were just so sad. They all actually followed, and they all followed Bharat to find Lord Ram. And so Lakshman he saw them coming from far, and Lakshman was far even. So he saw them, and he told Ram, "Look at this Bharat. He snatched your kingdom, your right, and now he's coming with the army to kill you. He's not satiated. He has to kill you also." So he's getting all fiery about the attack. And Ram's like, "Just hold on, let him come with worship." So then Bharat came, and then he worshipped Lord Ram, and he told him, "Please come back, please come back." And Lord Ram said, "No, I have taken over." And so from that point on, Bharat just, Ram told him to run the kingdom. So he ran the kingdom. But he had these shoes. He took Lord Ram gave him his shoes, these wooden shoes that were there. Bharat took them, put that on the throne, and worshipped those shoes. And even he actually, he was a lecturer, I don't know, he was saying, Bharat followed the same standards that Lord Ram followed in the forest. So he wouldn't eat anything. He wouldn't eat mac and cheese and barbecue turkey. He would only eat what Lord Ram would find, like things that you can find in the forest. He would just eat, not probably not in the kitchen. But he just eats simply, totally simply. Was trying to follow the standards that Lord Ram was following in the forest, and he was doing this while living in the kingdom. And so for us also, the lesson is that, whatever small or big kingdom we have in our lives actually belongs to Krishna, belongs to God. And so we can put Krishna's shoes on the throne of our hearts and worship it and see everything that we have is coming from Krishna and should be used in Krishna's service. We're simply a caretaker. Whatever we have, the wealth, the mind, the body, the intellect, and so forth, the sun, our skills, our strengths, they all come from Krishna. So we see them just as these jewels and wealth that Krishna is giving. Who's worship Krishna and used in Krishna's service. And so that was Bharat's example. And he did that. And Krishna is the proprietor. And so then they kept going in is going to the forest, and they're actually happy. They're like, oh, this is nice. Living in the forest is nice, and it's way more to goodness. And at different stages, so they were disturbing the sages, and they were going to kill them. And they made their way all the way um, to Darba, it's modern day Maharashtra. I forget the name. You don't remember where Supernaka came and Ramana stole Sita? I forget the name specific name. But that's in modern day Maharashtra. And so they were there in the forest, and the first Ravana's sister came, and she was a demon, and but then she came as a diva because she saw a lot wrong. She was like, all right, let me live free. So she came, she made this show of like it's really pretty, and she came and she was so enamored by Lord, and she started flirting with and then she said, oh, I want to marry you. And then Lord was no, Mataji. I would love to, but I've taken a vow to marry you. I love you long. Such is good. But he had to take it. So he took the image over and he said, well, but then there's Lakshman, my brother, is single, and so Supernaka was, but then she got so upset. She saw Sita and she was so envious. Now that's the thing when we see the goddess of fortune and some how does Krishna why does she have Krishna? And then that's the thing when something really presses us in our life and something we don't like. Initially, it's nice to look all kind of beautiful. What do we call it? Showroom, car in the showroom, right? So you can have a beautiful car in the showroom. This is a beautiful car you can test drive. But then you see and so Supernaka, she came and she was so pretty and beautiful. But then when she didn't get what she wanted, and she and then and she was about to attack Sita. And so when Lakshman saw that, he shot an arrow or a knife or something, whatever, he threw at her, cut her nose. And so then she just ran away back to London. And that's another thing. When we try to just grab what is not our quota, we try to grab Lakshmi and snatch her, then that's what happens. In the law of material nature is that we have a little bit of fall down and fight. And so the mood is of Bharat, where we see, okay, this is all Krishnas, this is one Rama's, we just care for Krishna. And so when Renal got cut, she went to her brother Ravana and she said, oh, there's this beautiful woman Sita, and you deserve it, not you should. And so Ravana gets really motivated. She described to him how beautiful she looks, how she has a tin waist and so forth, to give all the descriptions. And he got all the rest. I must have her. Ravana had a curse. He was cursed because he had tried to attack this one female sage, and he had tried to attack her, and basically raped. So when he was trying to do that, and she cursed him, she said, "If you ever try to impose yourself on another woman, you will die." So he went to Sita and he disguised himself as a sage, as a renunciate. And actually, sorry, before that, he sent his uncle Marichi, who was this other demon. So he went to Marichi and he said, I have a job for you. And Marichi is like, oh my God, I'm old. Why is he come to me? He said, I have a job for you. I need you to go distract around so that I can kidnap Sita. So Marichi was somewhat quiet. He was intelligent. So he thought, if I don't do what Ravana is asking me to do, he will kill me. But if I do what he's telling me to do, Lord Ram will kill me. I'd rather be killed by Lord. So he just saw my time is up. Right? So I'd rather be killed by God. So I said, all right, I'll do it. So he went to the forest where they were, and he disguised as a golden deer. And he's hopping around as a golden deer, and Sita saw the golden deer, and she was so enamored, and she asked Lord Ram, please. And so Ram went after her, but then he asked Lakshman to stay there and make sure Sita's protected. So, and then Ram was trying to kill the deer, and he shot an arrow. It hit the deer, and then as Marichi was dying, he was able to sound like Lord Ram, and he called out loudly, "Sita, Sita!" and shot. And then Sita was startled, and she told Lakshman, "You have to go, and you have to go help Ram." And Lakshman's like, "No, don't worry, he's God, and I'll see." Well, he's the greatest warrior on earth. Nobody can shoot in the forest. And so Sita said, "No, you must go. You must go get him and help him." And Sita was quite harsh on Lakshman actually, and so Lakshman he left. But before he left, he told Sita he made this boundary with his mystic powers with mantras. Do not cross this boundary. Stay in here. Stay safe. And so then Lakshman went, and then Ravana was waiting. He saw her. Now she's alone. And so he went up, but he could not enter that circle of protection. So he went up to Sita and he asked her, Bhikshama, Bhikshama, give me donation. I'm asked here for donation. And so that's the Kali Yuga renunciate. They come, they ask for money. They pretend to wear saffron, whatever, they pretend to be renounced. And also like the modern day churches in America was spread the gospel. And I think I saw a video recently. The pastor was saying, "Close the doors, lock the doors till all these." I guess there were 1,000 people in there. All these 1,000 people, each one of them give $100. We need to raise $100,000 right now. Hallelujah! And so it was actually happening. So of course, maybe he's a great personality, but the point is, in Kali Yuga, that's often the case that one can pretend to be religious, one can pretend to be pious, one can pretend to. And that's the theme, I guess, in Ravana's family, that he pretend Suparnika and himself. And better to be poor, be sincere, and just serve Krishna. There's all these various religious groups. This across the street, there's the Wesley Church. They used to own these two pieces of land where these two tall buildings are now. And it used to be just a field. So you could sit outside. When I was, back in my day, when I was about to start, I would sit out there and see the sunlight. It's so nice. And then the Wesley Church owned those two pieces of land. And they sold it to this developer, and they told him, build us a church in the corner. That's where the church is in the corner. They sold it to them, and they had this beautiful church. And there's some other churches that are really nice and beautiful. Some of these churches. For us, we have these humble 100-year-old houses. But the true wealth is Christian consciousness. Our true wealth is the morning program. Being able to be together in sunrise with sincere ways. That's our true wealth. So maybe we don't have fancy buildings. But we have a true life. But the point of religion. People might pretend to read this pious and that and try to get sources and so on. But that's not true religion. True Dharma is to serve. We're here to serve and grow in Krishna consciousness. And that's also what was shown by Ram's example. He went to the forest, he went to exile to show that, that actually the goal of human form of life is to kill these demonic tendencies in our heart. It does not matter your king or person in exile. It does not matter what situation you're in. That is the main goal of life that you have to work on that stuff. So Lord Ram also showed that by example. So yeah, then Ravana kidnapped her. Her mind actually really not. Sorry, 8:25. I'll start summarizing some of the points I had. But yeah, when and then so he told her, well, I cannot enter the circle. You must come and give me the nation. And then she said, well, I'm told not to go outside. And he said, oh, if you don't come outside, I'll curse you, whatever. Family will be ruined, this and all the standard dramatic statements. And so she said, okay, here March. Came out of the circle and they grabbed her and then put her on this plane that push button on. It's all made out of flowers, this flower plane. They started flying away with her. And Sita was crying to Ram. And there was this devotee of Lord Ram, Jatayu, who heard her cries. And he flew, he was an eagle. Eagle, right? Yeah. And in the movie, is that what you're referring to? Yeah, the anime, right? We gotta watch the anime actually. This weekend we should watch it. It's really good. Yeah, there's few dramatic things that are not accurate, but mostly it's actually on point.
It's Ghibli style too.
It's Ghibli style. It is actually. Yeah. And so yeah, Jatayu came. And Jatayu was actually an old bird, but with all his strength, Jatayu tried to protect Sita. And he was trying to fight off Ravana, and Ravana actually cut one of his wings, and he was too injured and just fell away. And then of course Ravana kidnapped Sita. And then later when Lord Ram was trying to find Sita, he came across Jatayu. And Jatayu was able to tell Ram what happened. She was kidnapped by Ravana, and Jatayu was dying in Lord Ram's arms. And also that shows us like, it does not matter what strength or capacity we have, we should sincerely try to do our service. And it might look like we're not succeeding at it, materially speaking. It might not look like we're up to the task and things aren't working out necessarily. But for Ram, for Krishna, that doesn't really matter. For Krishna, this matters. What is our intention? How much sincere effort have we put into it? And that's what really matters to Krishna. And sometimes as devotees we try our best, and it might look like we're not able to do the task at hand. And might look, materially speaking, might look like failure and so forth. But for Krishna, it doesn't matter if we fail at our task or not, as long as we sincerely try. But Jatayu is the prime example that he tried his level best to protect Sita, to get Sita out of Ravana's hands. He fell. In that sense, he fell. But he won in the life of Krishna consciousness. And then he died in Lord Ram's arms. So then of course long story short, Lord Ram was able to find where Sita is. He found Hanuman, for so many pastimes, so many things. And then of course he went with the army of monkeys, the Vanaras across the ocean. That was one pastime where Lord Ram was trying to cross the ocean, and he was requesting. He was sitting at the ocean, requesting the ocean, please part, let them go somehow. And the ocean was a bit proud, and the ocean got word, and I'm not sure it was Warren specifically, or actually it was just another personality. But the ocean, was just too proud and wouldn't even bother to address Lord Ram. So then Lord Ram got angry, stood up, started looking at it with copper red eyes. And when he did that, the entire ocean started boiling. And then the ocean god came out and he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then so in the Ramayana it's mentioned like sometimes pleasing words. Actually, Lord Ram said sometimes yes, with pleasing words things don't happen. Then you have to show your strengths, because there are people like these do not listen. And so he was really angry. And so the ocean god asked for forgiveness, and then he said that if you put any rock, boulder, stone, whatever, with your name on it, it will not drown. That way you can cross the ocean. So then the monkey army started. And that's what Lord Ram had this the army of monkeys. And an army is like supposed to be strategic. They're supposed to make phalanxes and have strategies. He just had army of monkeys, and the monkeys would do stupid things. There were so many stories of past times. And Hanuman was trying to eat a peanut, and he threw it in the air, and the entire army threw it in the air. There's so many silly stories of the monkeys acting in a silly way. But then somehow Lord Ram engaged them, and he won the battle first. But anyways, they built that bridge, went to Lanka, and of course it killed Ravana. And at one point, Lord Ram took a stone. They thought, well, my name is on these rocks, and they should float. So let me just throw a rock myself and throw it float. So when he did that, the rock sank. And so he asked Hanuman, why is this rock sinking? And it's my name, which you're writing, and the rocks are floating. And Hanuman said, your name is more powerful than you also, actually. So the holy name is so powerful, actually, that it gives a lot of benediction. So that's why we depend on the holy name. Japa and chanting and so forth. All right, so those are some many classes of law. And let's wrap up here. I just have one announcement. Let's see. Let me just see before there's any other good points. It's all right.
I just wanted to say that the Krishna's Dallas and the Dallas community did a word round play, and it's really it's totally worth a watch. It's like 15 minutes. It's on the Dallas YouTube. It blew me away. Prema is Sita, Drista is Lakshmi.
If you wish to the link in the chat. Yes, bro. Yes.
The first demon that was encountered was Ogres Tataka.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah. Ogres. Yeah, she wasn't fun. All right. Any other thoughts and comments on that? Go ahead. Well, I think a lot of you already are aware. He has to arrive. Surya Radhika is here. Krishna's person. And so a lot of changes are happening. So as I go on, this will be my last month serving at Krishna House as a town president. To encourage transition. So after this month, I'll end this semester, and then I'll do the honorable service of there's a service called the GBC rep, where you're supposed to be there and work with the town presidents in this field. It's more hands-off management, hands-off. So that'll be my service to support the next town presidents. Mr. Gopal and Champa. I'll be taking over the reins at Krishna House. Yeah, I've known Champa Ji for a long time, for over a decade. And since she's a Gopal crew, of course, she talks volumes of Gopal crew as well. I've known crew for a little over a year now, right? And yeah, they're such great devotees, and I couldn't think of anyone else to do this service. They're both so considerate of how young Americans take the Krishna consciousness. It's so important to make sure that everybody who comes to Krishna House is taken care of and is made feel like they're at home. And that's been the strength of Krishna House since I joined back in the day. It's always the mood when a new person came. So they're so good at taking care of new people, so I'm sure we'll get great success. And Krishna will bless them. They're such dedicated devotees, and there's so many things I can say. They're such dedicated devotees, giving their life for preaching and so forth. So yeah, please, everybody, please give them your blessing and love and support.
give Shruti a huge round of applause for all of his dedicated service for the past 7 years, for so many years. And we're going to be having on Sunday, April 13th from 3:30 to 5:30, we're going to be having a big appreciation event for Shruti. So mark your calendars. That's next Sunday, the day after St. Augustine Rock. It's going to be a whole graduation ceremony for him and a blessing circle, appreciation circle to thank him for all of his selfless service. And we like, this is, Shruti is not decreasing his service, he's increasing his service. He's moving into Grihastha Ashram with Surya Radhika. He's taking on very important GBC service according to Kalakanta Prabhu's desire, so he'll still be our boss. And he's just dedicating his life more and more and more to serving Srila Prabhupada's mission. And we're so happy for you, Prabhu. And for us, yeah, we just need your blessings and your prayers, and we're just here to serve you in any way we possibly can. So just come, we'll be speaking with everyone individually to hear from them what they need and how we can serve them. So we're just here to serve you. Hare Krishna.
Shruti, I think we should get the shoes so we can work. I need my shoes, all right?
You're the ideal temple president.
I'm creepy too. I was like that. Right, Carmen? What else? Any other thoughts, comments, or love on pastimes? Also, you have Lakshmi Radha. It's good to have Lakshmi Radha back. How do you feel, Joe? All excited now? Enthused? Lord Ramachandra ki? Yeah.